Salutations, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. V back with another casted game of Age of Empires 3, and I love the resurgence of the African civs that we've been seeing lately. I don't know what sparked it, but there are a lot of people taking another look at Hausa and at Ethiopia, and they're reconsidering playing some of these civs. Now, a lot of people are intimidated, including me, are intimidated by the African civs because they're just so different than the standard European or even the stuff you'd see from like your Asian or native civs. But once you get a hang of the African build orders, they can prove to be really powerful. And there's been a lot of experimenting with the influence builds, especially at the higher levels. We've even seen guys like Julian K bust out Ethiopia and have a lot of success. So I'm hoping for something influence-based today, though I don't know anything about this game per se. I've heard from the guy who sent it that there might be some mercenaries involved, but he did a very good job of not spoiling it for me. Unfortunately, I cannot say the name of the player in the red playing as Ethiopia because I don't know how to I do not know how to pronounce Mandarin. I think this is right. This would be Mandarin. But I don't even want to give it a shot because I'm not here to offend anybody. I leave the offending to Lionheart. He is much better at it than I am. But I can introduce the other player in the blue in the north of the map playing as Sweden. We have Diesel. Diesel? See, I grew up in the Midwestern United States, and see, we always said Diesel with an S, but I understand that some people say Diesel with a Z, which sounds more sophisticated. So I'm going to say Diesel. I'm going to portray my homeland, and I don't know. Let me know how you pronounce it in the comments. Am I saying it wrong? Am I saying it right? Is there a third way that I don't know about? Maybe somebody from Britain's like, actually, it's pronounced Diesel. Because that seems to be what I always get told by my European viewers, is they're like, actually, it's pronounced this way. But hey, I love the free advice. Ooh, 75 food for Diesel. And I love that for him. And let's take a look. Ooh, we went with the double torp start and really great torps. Look at this spawn. This is a god spawn for the torps. Coin mine with flanking trees. And if he gets a couple of these herds in as well, these two torps are going to be working overtime on that resource trickle. And looks like 40 XP coming for our Ethiopian player. Ooh, he's taking a lot of damage. I'd love to know. I need to learn the hotkey that pulls up the treasures, because he must have taken a beefy treasure and lost a lot of HP along the way. And now picking up 50 coin, got himself Buck the Tame Wolf. And these African explorers, kind of like the native explorers, though I don't think they're quite as strong as, like, say, the Lakota explorer, who is toxic and I hate him, but still really, really good. And gonna pick up another 40 coin as well. I love these deserted pikeman treasures. Not the best micro. Must be working on something else. And let's see what he has sent. He has sent Trinity. So he's got the 2 villagers and the 1 Abun. And aging up with the Jesuits. Ooh. Are we gonna be seeing some conquistador action? I would absolutely love to see conquistadors, though it'll all depend on what Sweden does. Let's take a look at Diesel's deck. What does he got on the way? Hakka pellets! Shake 2020 would be shedding tears of joy at this deck. This is a Hakka pellet spam if I've ever seen one. He's got March of the Hakka Pellets, he's got Snap Lock, he's got Cavalry Combat, and he's got Trample Tactics, and he's also got Finn Horses in H4 if he gets there. So we're probably going to be seeing a bit of toxic spam, ladies and gentlemen. But Hakka Pellets, of course, are very, very strong. They're a very, very good unit to spam. And I've seen plenty of Sweden players win just solely off of making that one unit. But the one counter is they are quite expensive. I think they're about 190 resources. So if you don't use them wisely, it can bite you. And we're going to see Dominions coming in, and he could start making them in H2. He does have the March of the Hakka Pellets, and we see Watchtower coming out from our Ethiopian player. We see the church wagon, and we see the mountain monastery. And of course, this is what I'm trying to learn with the African civs. I am very newbie when it comes to Ethiopia or Hausa, but I'm trying to learn about influence and what it can do and how it scales and how the momentum works. He does have some influence card in his deck. He, of course, has 700 influence, and he has the 7 cannoneers, and he also has the 15 Berber allies as well as the 1,000 influence, excuse me. But he's going to send the castle first, so we're going to be seeing influence units for sure. So that actually makes me really excited. As much as I love like Gas Kenya and Shotel Warriors, I wanted to see some Mercenary play, some influence play, and so I am very excited to see it. Actually getting out some Desert Raiders first, which I think is a great decision against Sweden, because you know that Sweden's going to be plopping torps all over the map. Berber allies, of course, not Berber allies, Desert Raiders are very good at siege, and they're very fast, so they are going to be excellent torp killers. Yeah, similar to kind of the raiding units, the raiding cavalry of Hausa. But from what I understand, these guys are not great in combat against other cavalry. So, ooh, is he going to get a free Vil there? Yeah, he's going to pick up a free Vil. Currently 19 for Ethiopia and 20 for Sweden. And he's going to get another Vil. Yes, I think he picked up another Vil as well. Yeah, and he's going to get that torp, which was not yet constructed. And so, really great use of his early Desert Raiders, and he is going with the Conquistadors. Another shipment. What is it going to be? Is it going to be the 700 influence? No, it's going to be 700 wood. He almost sent the coin, so I wonder if he's going for something a bit more FF based. This almost feels like a hybrid kind of different version of like a European 5 Hussar semi, except it's more based on siege rather than raiding, which again, I think against Sweden, this is a really good play, right? Against Sweden, you're not always going to be able to go in and raid their villagers, especially on a map like this where you have the early berries. And so I think going for the torps instead is completely valid. And he's taken out one, he's going to take out a second one, and he did get the 2 villagers. So very nice early game from Ethiopia, though Sweden certainly not out of it. Diesel has sent the Dominions card, he has sent 700 wood, and he has now sent March of the Hakka pellets, which is going to do well against the raiding units, though. I don't know how they fare against Conquistadors. Let's see, 205... 20% range resist and 20 ranged attack versus 18 ranged attack. Okay, yeah, so I think definitely better for the Hakka pellets there. And if they get into H3, they'll certainly be better. And they're going to start taking out these desert units, though. They did get another torp. Sweden still maintaining the population, though, 140 for them and 22 Vils, and 23 Vils for Ethiopia. He's now sending the 700 coin, and the bases, wow, a lot of infrastructure already, a lot of mountain monasteries spread all over the map. He's got some granaries as well and a trading post. So he's made good use of his 700 wood, and it looks like now he is macroing for an age up. He's not even going to need the 700 wood. Look at that. He's already got the coin he needs, and wow, just showing the effectiveness of those mountain monasteries. And Desert Raiders, no, these are the Conquistadors trying to engage with the Hakka pellets, but they are outnumbered, and of course their stats are a bit worse. But now maybe with the castle he can get a nice engagement there, but it looks like the Hakka pellets from Diesel are going to turn and return home. But we see an H3 for Ethiopia, and we're going to see a very close follow-up from Sweden. Going to be about maybe 30, 45 seconds behind. But he does have a really nice mass of Hakka pellets now on the field. He's got 160 torp population and a healthy early game economy. And these units, incredibly difficult to counter because they are so fast. They are excellent at raiding. And once you get a couple of cards on these bad boys, they're just so hard to deal with. And we're going to see a really nice raid here. The Abens, oh no! Oh, this is going to be such a good pickup for Diesel. Killing Abens is one of the best ways you can kind of handicap the African civs early game. And I don't know if he's going to try to siege this mountain monastery. I don't even think he's going to waste time. No, I think he's just going to pick up villagers where he can, try to get those scattered Abens. And what are we seeing from the Ethiopia player? The age up is over 3/4 of the way done, it looks like. Making more abans, getting more cattle, and putting down a trading post as well. What trading post is this? Ooh, he's got the House of Vasa. So maybe he goes for the Torps? I don't know. I mean, would any of the units complement his cav army he's got right now? I feel like Cannoneers would be the play here, right? I mean, Cannoneers, maybe some Neftenia? I don't know. I feel like Cannoneers would be the option, though. Could make Royal Arquebusiers. That would also work. I don't think Winged Hussars would be useful against Hakka pellets at all. And Diesel also almost up to age 3. Looks like he went with the fast age up there. Arsenal coming down for the Ethiopian player, but more Abin's gonna go down. And these Hakka pellets, they're just so fast. They can come in, they can pick off units, and then before you can really marshal much of a response, they're already home for dinner, eating some meatballs. And yeah, really, the comparison to the base here is actually quite stark. We see a lot of buildings for Africa and a pretty sparse space for Sweden. But of course, most of his economy is laid out over the map. He's done a really nice job spreading out these torps. And we're kind of seeing some counter sieging here. We see the Ethiopian player not engaging these Hakka pellets, losing a Vil there, and yeah, we're up to enough of a mass that these guys can just insta-kill any Vils, and oh no, we're seeing a raid here! This could be a really juicy catch by Diesel. There is a large number of villagers here, and there's enough Hakka pellets to just insta-kill. Look at how quickly those villagers go down. One shot, and 2 villagers already dead. Now 3 and 4 dead as well. There's gonna be at least 2 or 3 more. We're at 5, gonna be 6, gonna be 7, and there could be another villager here, though. The Hakka pellets are gonna leave, and a 7 villager raid didn't lose a single Hakka pellet as well, and you can kind of see why a lot of players are claiming that this unit is broken. And of course, with no future updates looking to be on the horizon, it's going to be interesting to see how do people learn to deal with this unit. I mean, 32 Hakka pellets. I know they're expensive, but man. And now he's going to get cavalry combat as well. It feels a little busted. I'm not going to lie, but Ethiopia is going up to age 4. He's almost there. He's going up with the Indians, and I did not see that at all. No wonder he wasn't getting out any units. And so we're seeing a quick FI here, and immediately sends the Berber allies. That could be an excellent unit if they're able to catch these Hakka pellets, but it's all going to depend on if they can get into melee. These guys cost 1,000 influence, so they have to be used well, but I mean, his influence income is extraordinarily good. But his economy, besides that, is quite weak. He's at 16 villagers due to the raids, and I mean, Diesel's at 31, so looking very strong for Sweden here. He has the economy, he has the map control. He's got a mass of 37 Hakka pellets that have 1 and 2 cards worth of upgrades, and they could have a potential another 1 or 2 cards at least. So could get very scary here for Ethiopia, and we'll see how he responds. But in come the Hakka pellets. They're coming in for a couple more insta-kills. And this is the thing. You have almost no reaction time. Just like that. Boom. Instantly. 3 villagers dead. But the Berber allies are going to come out. And they are going to try to catch the Hakka pellets. And the Hakka pellets got to try to turn and kite. But every time they turn and kite, they give these camels a chance to catch up. And these camels are doing extremely well when they can make contact. But I think the Hakka pellets are going to be able to slowly kite them all down. And that's 1,000 influence worth of units there. They have to be used wisely, and they have to get good trades. But remember, every unit they kill, they are taking away 190 resources. So a nice little trade there for the Ethiopian player. But is it going to make up for the fact that he's only at 14 Vils at 14 minutes? He is in age 4, but that still feels kind of bad. Cannoneers now out on the field, and these are going to be what he needs to deal with the Hakka pellets from range. Kind of worse Abyss guns, but still going to be very good versus just pure Dragoon spam. But can you even really call Hakka pellets Dragoons, honestly? And trample tactics coming in, so these guys are just going to get stronger. And I don't think we're going to see any change in strategy here from Diesel. I think he's going to maintain the spam. I mean, he's invested like 3 cards in it at this point. He can't really switch to Carolines or Falconets or anything like that. He's kind of got to stick to this strategy. And maybe that is, excuse me, maybe that is kind of the one weakness of this sort of toxic spammy build, is it is kind of an all-in. And so if your Hakka pellets are not able to get the job done, you really don't have a fallback option. Because, you know, that's the thing with Sweden, is their units are very powerful, but, you know, they need to build that power. They need to get those upgrades and those arsenal techs. And so, yeah, I mean, it's still very strong, but maybe not overpowered. Maybe my initial reaction to the Hakka pellets was a bit too zealous. 31 Vils still for Diesel. Actually, his Vil count is kind of stagnated. Has he not been making Vils? I don't know. Maybe he's investing too much in the heavy cab at the cost of his villagers. Maybe there was a big raid that I missed. I don't know. I don't feel like I missed a big raid. But 15 Vils for Ethiopia, both on one town center. And I don't know, man. Pure Desert Archer and, oh my God, Rabald's coming out, which are the African version of the organ guns. And now, I don't know, man. This Influence army, I don't know how he's pieced it together, because I know nothing about the African civ economies. It feels like a 16 Vil economy could not get this type of army out. But Influence is a powerful resource, and I don't know, could this many Hakka pellets deal with that force? It's 37, he's restored his numbers, but you can tell the Ethiopia player, he's adapting as the game goes. He's already gotten much better at predicting these quick raids, and so I don't think he's gonna lose any Vils this time. Though, if he's got some hanging out in the back, he could still lose them. Yeah, he's got a few here that could be lost, but I mean, what is the Ethiopian army doing? It's doing a lot of damage to his torps. I mean, he's got 190 population, so he's not going to worry about getting housed, but it is going to stagnate his economy. 1,000 coin coming in for Diesel, and I am guessing that is not going to be used for a transition into H4. I think it's just going to go into producing, shocker, more Hakka pellets. And smart move here by Ethiopia, not pulling his entire army back, but just pulling back his cannoneers, which is going to be enough to make these cavalry at least a little bit wary. But I mean, they have full run of the house of the Ethiopian base. And meanwhile, this Ethiopian army is trying to be proactive, and the 2 Sebastable mortars are now out as well. You cannot simply ignore these guys. They have 375 solid shot attack. They have 30 range, and they could reduce this base to ashes. Look at that. They one-shot a fully healthy Torp. And I don't know. I mean, it's going to take micro here, because these Hakka pellets can come in and do a lot of damage quickly. But if he's able to protect this much artillery, he could do a lot of damage. Desert Raiders, if they can get in close, they might be able to ward him off. And it looks like Ethiopia simply focusing on the town center with his mortars. And I don't know if switching over to the Hakka pellets is super wise. A lot of units going down for both sides here. The Desert Archers trying to take care of the Minutemen, but now there's enough cavalry to just brute force their way in and kill the organ guns. But he's going to lose a lot in exchange. And now that the Cannoneers have arrived, they're going to put in a lot of supplemental fire, a lot of Hakka pellets going down here. And yes, Sweden is going to kill the artillery, but at what cost? He was at around 40-ish Hakka pellets and now down to 9. And I don't even want to try to calculate the amount of resources that is, but I mean, that is thousands of resources worth of units now dead. And I think there's enough of an army here to still take out the town center, which is Sweden's only TC at this point. He's at a 37 Vil economy, and he doesn't really have a lot of powerful cards left that will make an immediate impact. He has 2 Falconets, which I don't think those will be that great. Could send Snaplock and further upgrade his cav, but there's not a lot here that can really do a lot quickly. And he's also got 2 shipments saved up, which is interesting. Maybe the fight micro has kind of distracted him. Getting a second TC up, which is good, and going for the Treaty of Roskilde. I have no idea. Somebody who knows Scandinavian dialect, please let me know if I butchered that. And now what is he making? Armored Pistoliers from Ethiopia. Oh my god, this is such a good game. How often do you see Armored Pistoliers? I don't think I've ever featured them on the channel at all. More Desert Archers, which are just a really nice expendable units that counter the Hakka pellets. And they're a nice complement to the Cannoneers. And a couple Conquistadors, Explorer. Yeah, this is such a weird army. And I think this is why fighting the African civs can be difficult for a lot of players, because you just don't know what half of the units do. Armed Pistoliers coming out at a great time, and these guys do a ton of damage to the Hakka pellets, and they also soak up so much damage as well. Let's see, they're heavy ranged infantry, and they deal area damage with their pistol attack, and they deflect units damage to their allies, so they kind of disperse the damage. And these guys have 672 HP, and are they healing right now? Why are they healing? Oh, there must be, there's got to be something with the African civs that like heals, right? I have no idea why they were healing. Somebody tell me why these guys are healing. I have no clue. I am impotent in my Africa knowledge. And yeah, Diesel continuing to try to raid, but these raids are becoming less and less effective. And I don't know, I feel like Africa has survived the scariest push that Sweden could offer. He's got another Sebastopol mortar out, which makes his army a bit immobile, it must be said. But I don't know, the next fight that happens, I feel like Africa is going to take it. There's just too much here for even the upgraded Hakka pellets to handle. I don't know, maybe if he gets like a really good fight and he's able to catch these units by surprise, but and it's amazing to me because Ethiopia, he's only got 18 villagers. Like, it's not like his economy has recovered. He does have a second town center up, and he did kill the town center that Sweden was trying to get up on these berries. So, man, I don't know. I really thought Ethiopia was dead there for a second, but are the influence builds that powerful? Is it that good? Man, oh, look at this card. GE's script. He gets 400 influence per mountain monastery? Oh, good lord. God, maybe I got to study Ethiopia more. Some of these cards just feel absolutely ridiculous. Looks like he shipped 2 falconets, which is good. They'll be able to do some damage to some of this weaker infantry, like the Desert Archers. But I don't know. I don't feel like they'll be able to deal with the mortars if Ethiopia is playing attentively. Looks like he's on his explorer is on the move here. He sees the Hakka pellet mass, and he's probably going to lose more vills here. But at this point, I don't know what Diesel does to respond to this army. He's put all of his eggs into one basket, and now it feels like he's not got the diversity, right? He doesn't have the composition to deal with this variety of Africa units. Arsenal going down, stable going down, market going down, and yeah, look at that. The Swedish base is evaporating, and yes, the Hakka pellets are killing villagers here, but I think Ethiopia has proved that he doesn't need villagers to necessarily stay in the game. 46 for Diesel, though his food count is extraordinarily low. And how many for Ethiopia? He's up to 32? How did he get 32 villagers? What in the world? What did I miss here? Did he? Oh my God, somebody in the comments, tell me how he got 32 villagers. Oh, it's got to be this one, Aroma Migrations. Ships 1 villager for each one you have lost. Well, no wonder. So that's basically just a vill recovery card. Hey, if you lost vills to raids, here they all are. You can have them all back. Man, gosh. If you know what you're looking for in these African decks, I think you start to realize just how OP some of these cards feel. And yeah, I don't think Diesel has any response. He's not really trying to make any other units. He's now going on water, which feels kind of desperate. He's making falconets. And I mean, I like his strategy, right? Like, he knows he can't take an engagement, so he's trying to do damage, but at this point, the snowball just feels like it's gained too much momentum. I mean, now he doesn't even have like a clear Vil advantage. And I'm saying that while he's still up by 16. But I mean, Ethiopia has 2 town centers. He currently has none, so that gap is going to close quicker than you might think. And now 4 falconets on the field. And if Sweden does not win with this push, I think it is going to be game over. And how does Ethiopia deal with 4 falconets? I mean, the Sebastopol mortar is going to have nice range. Do they have any sort of bonus versus artillery? I have no idea. I don't think so. And they've got a 0.25 bonus damage. I mean, yeah, that's not great. They do have the superior range, though, which might come into play. And now it looks like he's making Desert Warriors, which are heavy infantry. But what does Diesel do at this point? He's reconstructing torps, but I mean, they're falling as quickly as they're going up. He's now at 140 population. He's actually capped at this point. Still got a healthy dose of Hakka pellets. He's at 35. And they do have 1, 2, 3. I mean, they do have 3 cards worth of upgrades. Artillery foundry going down. This somewhat small army, but I mean, this is, again, it's so weird. Like, this army is not big, and it's not that intimidating looking, but then you actually see the units, and look at these armed pistoliers. They're going to cut through these Hakka pellets, and once they get to the falconets, they're going to do even better. 1 falconet going down, 2 falconets going down, and 4 falconets going down, and yes, they did kill a lot of the cannoneers, but it looks like, I mean, Ethiopia might be switching over to going back to conquistadors, which I don't know if that's the most, I don't know if that's the smartest play, but man, those armed pistoliers, they are, oh, they are scary. The amount of damage they can take on the front lines is kind of ridiculous. And now that Ethiopia has discovered this water economy, I mean, Diesel really has no choice but to defend it. This is kind of his last source of major food income, and if he loses this, Hakka pellet production is going to shut down entirely. I mean, after all, these guys are 90 food, 100 coin, and now he's sort of starting to get food production back going, but now he's losing coin, and he's back up to 190 population. So, you know, for all of the things I've been criticizing for Diesel, he's done a great job maintaining his torp population. And it's sort of similar to like Japan, right? You know, you got to keep building them on the map. You know you're going to lose them, but as long as you can maintain, your economy can stay fairly stable. He's got more military infrastructure going down. He's got a barracks, but he's still not using it. 2nd artillery foundry going down. And I wish there was a stat to see how many resources worth of wood he has lost this game. I know we can look at buildings lost, but just like how much wood worth of stuff has Diesel lost this game? Another raid from the Hakka pellets. 2 more villagers going down. And currently 35 for Ethiopia, 56 for Diesel. But now we're finally going to see a bit of counter raiding here from Ethiopia. Or I guess not. Nope. He is not going to harm civilians. How very honorable of him. Never mind. Nope. He sees them and he's like, actually, you die now. Conquistadors going for a raid, and there is no town center, so there is no sanctuary. Nope, just get up more stables. He is now at 4 stables, and he only has much of an economy to support maybe 2 at this point. Gonna kill this town center. Oh my god, this is going to be a huge raid. Maybe this is going to be good enough to get him back in the game. Oh, the plus 10s! Oh, what a massacre. Ethiopia back down to 22 villagers. Sweden now at 59, so he's actually gotten more since the raid started. Oh my god. The Vil graph for Ethiopia is just going to be disgusting. And is this going to be the final fight, ladies and gentlemen? The Hakka pellets are going to charge in, but there's a lot of units here, a lot of desert archers. There's still some cannoneers, there's some Gaskenya, and there's some conquistadors. And remember, these influence units have guard upgrades. These are guard cannoneers, guard conquistadors. And I think, wow, look at the Vil pull here from Diesel. He's trying to body block but Ethiopia doing a nice job still focusing on the Hakka pellets, and the number of vills going down. 35 villagers when he was just at 60. Half of his economy has now been destroyed, and it looks like the influence units are going to be enough. And even if Sweden wins this fight, I'm not so sure he's going to be able to recover from the economy he's lost. And there's even 5 cannoneers hammering away at the back. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that is game. And I have no idea what just happened. I cannot tell you why Ethiopia won. I cannot tell you what units were the most important in that fight. And I can't even tell you why all of the rating didn't seem to matter for Diesel. All I can say is, follow me to the post game. All right, guys, let us try to make sense of what we just witnessed, because we see a 10,000 resource advantage for Diesel. When we go to the military, we see a pretty even military count. We see an advantage for Ethiopia in units killed. And then look at this, guys, 37 buildings lost for Sweden. I know a lot of that is torps, but oh my God, that is so much infrastructure, so many resources that could have gone into units, but instead had to be used to rebuild the Swedish infrastructure, which had to hurt. And we go to the villager count. Oh my God, that is one of the most disgusting vill graphs I've ever seen. We look at this, 25 vills down to 16, down to 14, gets them back up to about 30-ish with that big card, and then all the way back down to 22. But I mean, Sweden, yeah, he had the advantage early game. He wasn't suffering from a lot of raids, but that vill pull, 59 to 32. That's half of your economy, and you didn't even win the fight. Oh man, I can see why Diesel quit after that, because that's just got to feel so discouraging when you're like, I pulled pretty much all of my vills and I still lost. And I mean, it just goes to show that, you know, the Hakka pellet spam, it is very strong. But if you're able to take out that initial wave, that initial huge block, it's very hard for Swedish players to rebuild it, because they are so expensive and they're so hard to mass in large numbers. And so inflicting really cost-effective casualties against a Hakka pellet spam is one of the best ways to beat it. And the other thing you have to have is you have to have excellent villager micro. You have to be able to see raids coming and respond immediately. You need TCs, you need outposts. You cannot leave any villagers out in the open, because they will die, and they will die quickly, especially if those Hakka pellets have some upgrades on them like they did in this game. But still, a really fun game. And I know the comments are just going to be talking about how I know nothing about Ethiopia, and you would be correct, but I'm trying to learn. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been wanting to highlight one of the African civs for a long time, and this was a great game to do it. Great game to both players, by the way. Well played. I loved both strats, even though the Hakka pellet spam is a little bit toxic. But I hope you guys have a great Valentine's Day. I'll be back with more games next week. Until then, have a great day. Have a great life. See you later.